Hello friends, welcome to Squared Plans. I'm Stephanie and today we're going to be setting up our horizontal planners for the next week in October. And I've got these Girl Boss Anna overlay inks ready to go, as well as some washi tape I may use. Got some mile liners here that I'll use for my checklist, and maybe this Tombow for the right coloring. And these sticker books, which I'll pull from. So this is the third week of the October Plannable Challenge, and this week's theme is fall vibes. So if you'd like to participate, go ahead and post your spreads up on Instagram using the hashtag PlannableOctober2022. We'd love to see what you come up with. Okay, you guys, here we go. I'm gonna lay down some semi-old wax paper here. It's got a few uses out of it already. It's probably about time to change. And same with the tape that I'm going to stick it down with. So this week I did a little pre-planning because I wanted to see if I had the right colors of stickers to do what I had in my head, which is this kind of alternating day theme with almost like a gradient of color, fall color going down the page. I wanted to make sure I had the right boxes to go with these stickers that I've pulled mainly from the Happy Planner Seasonal Fall sticker book. That book is a gem, you guys. I've used it a lot this year. It's a really good fall book to have in your stash. Just putting that out there. So I've pulled basically these paper leaf stickers from that book. And I was always kind of unsure how to use them because paper stickers just don't layer as well as regular stickers or clear stickers. I like the shape and the coloring and everything of them. It's just paper stickers I just find more challenging to make really cute spreads with, using something like this for decor. Like I said, I got this idea to do almost a alternating day theme, so using the stickers as a background more like, as opposed to a decor cluster. I'm trying to do something like more like wallpaper, if you will, and then using those larger colorful boxes on top to be my usable space for the week. Now I've decided on 4 colors, so I'm going to use that really dark green. I had enough leaves in those. I also had this almost burnt orange that I'm working on right now for Saturday. And then on the opposite side we have almost like a reddish brown tone at the top, and then a really brownish yellow, I would say, for the following day or the Wednesday. Right now I am just trying to work in enough decor in the background for you to be able to tell what I'm doing without using too much of the space if I can avoid it. I already know this week is going to be a little bit challenging to get everything that I've been getting on my spreads onto the sheet. I'm taking up quite a bit of space there with the decor, and then the boxes that I'm using aren't really big enough to house all 3 of the main things that I usually track, which are my checklists, and then I'll usually have a focus area, so like a little highlight for the day, and then mainly my social has been the big kind of room taker lately. So I may insert a half page for the week to track my social. I haven't quite figured out how that's going to look yet, but that might be a way for me to get away with this spread without it feeling just too stuffed with things and not enough room to really fulfill everything I need it to do in this one spread. So just shooting that out there in case you guys are avid followers of my channel and know kind of how I use my spreads in a functional way. This decor is not the ideal for a lot of function, but it will work, if you get creative. This kind of brownish yellow tone that I've just finished putting in, those leaves I didn't have very many of. That was the one I had the least amount of leaves to work with. So I did a lot of cutting and I tried to make them go as far as possible to still give you that background effect. But yeah, that one was the more tricky one out of all of these because I didn't have as much to work with to start. I also already trimmed those larger 2-day boxes that are at the top and at the bottom. The reason I did that is because it says weekend plans on the top, and I'm not really putting them in the weekends kind of area. This isn't a vertical planner, so it really doesn't apply, but I did like the largeness of the boxes, and the colors were perfect for what I wanted to do. So I cut off the headers, and I'm going to kind of camouflage that cut end with some washi tape. I could have bumped them down and up so that they were actually, flush off the page, which, in hindsight might have been cute and given me a little bit more space for decor, but I was kind of going with this decor trapped within the day look. So if I would have done that, it would have had a little bit of a different feel to it, if you know what I mean. So we will see. And I will be trimming the other long boxes as well. I just haven't figured out how much I'm going to trim them yet and where and how it's going to look. I also happen to have Girl Boss Anna overlay inks for all of these colors, which I thought was awesome because I really like adding those into spreads to just add a little pop of color here and there. I've been working off of just 2 sets for the last, 4 or 5 months. And I've been able to really bring those in a majority of my spreads as far as, adding extra color. And those 2 sets I will have linked in the description below. So if you just want to try it and see, I highly recommend them. Basically, it covers all of the colors up through blue in the rainbow. The greens are a little bit more olivey, they're not real spring greens. There's a really nice dark blue, light blue, dark green, light green, and then a couple of oranges, reds, and that softer yellow there. I've been able to really use that a lot, and like I said, it's a good combination of sets that I've got that will, I think, take you far with the amount you get on each roll and the usability. Back to what I'm doing now. So I'm kind of trying to tie in some focus boxes here on the empty days with those same color schemes. So I'm using the browns all the way across the top, oranges next, soft yellows and then the next, and then the dark greens at the bottom. So it is graduating down in those fall colors. I reused the cutoffs there for focus boxes, which I think is a good way to kind of get use out of those boxes and tie in the same color scheme without having too much to work with. And now I'm just trying to see how to make those look a little bit better with what I've got. So I'm pulling in a few more of those paper leaves from the seasonal fall sticker book and using those to tie in the leaves, but using the outlined versions and the much smaller versions just as a little highlight there for those days without any decor. I also feel like I need a quote here, and I really love this "Oh fall, it's nice to see you again," but it's orange. I'm trying to work it in here, but I'm already kind of worried about it because it's in the middle and it really doesn't make a lot of sense where I'm about to put it. I mean, it's nice, but it's like the rest of the balance of the spread really doesn't quite fit with this quote just kind of being stuck there in the middle. So we'll see if I stick with that or if I kind of change things up. I also thought about bringing in some other quotes or decor, but I'm a little worried that it's going to look too busy. I'm already worried. As you can see, I pulled a few of those outline stickers out because I was worried they were going to be just too much going on. So we'll see. We'll see how we work this in. So since I've got those focus boxes already kind of pre-set up from the cutoffs of the long boxes, I need a couple of focus boxes for the other 2 days in the darker brown and the green. going into the Planny Thing book now, which is where I got the long boxes to begin with, and looking for a good brown tone that I think will match closely, since I didn't find anything in the Happy Planner Seasonal Fall Sticker Book. I've already pulled the green from the Happy Planner Seasonal Fall Sticker Book because I happen to have this long box here that I could kind of cut off and make it work. So I had one, but I was missing that brown, and I was able to find it in the Planny Thing sticker book. Just trying to kind of tie in those Girl Boss Anna inks for that little pop of color in with the focus boxes and the outlined leaf that I pulled for each. Again, just trying to add a little decor to those pages, but not let it be too overwhelming. Mainly focusing in on the color so that those alternate days will really shine with all of the stuff going on with those, and these other days can shine on their own because they aren't as full, if that makes sense. So that's what I'm going to be working with and trying to accomplish here. I used some quote bars to help close off those boxes that I trimmed, or that box that I trimmed. And because I did that, I wanted to kind of match that same look and feel with the one there on the top for Friday, even though that was a complete box to begin with. And both look good, I think. I like how it's layered with that kind of soft background of the overlay inks on the top and the leaf and then the quote at the bottom. I think that looks really good. So I've already pulled that fall quote out of the way, and now I'm looking for something else that I feel like will work. I thought about using those black quotes, but there's really not a strong black presence on the spread at this time. I was thinking maybe I could bring in this Falling for Fall quote here at the bottom for balance, and also to, because it's on the this week area, which is where I don't need as much space, because I can just do a quick checklist and be good to go. So I'm going to sneak it in here where I had some of that decor before. That way it feels balanced, because it's kind of like a little end note for the spread, and it gives a little definition for what this spread's all about, which is, it's fall vibes, fall color, all of that is kind of incorporated there with that quote. So I think that'll be a nice one to tie in here. Trying to rework a little bit of those leaves in and around the quote to make it, feel right with the spread and not be too clustered there together. And I will put away the excess stickers that I won't be using and start to move things over. So I thought about doing the roll-off technique on this. I don't think it's going to work. It's a little bit too spaced out. Before I move this guy over, I wanted to do a little bit of trimming of the excess clear that's at the bottom of the stickers so that it doesn't impede on my writing room within the focus box. So I'll do that for both the orange and the yellow boxes as well, and just re-center up everything before I lay it down. I'm just going to move these guys over one by one and get those clusters kind of placed. It's a pretty symmetrical spread, so if you are struggling with balance for your spreads, this alternating day is a good way, because you're using every other day and it'll just balance itself, I guess is what I want to say. So just following the structure of it where you're skipping one day each time will kind of self-balance your spread. Also to the placement I'm putting in some of those boxes are key to finding that symmetry and the balance. So I have a long box at the top left, and then I have, not a long box, a wide box at the top left, and then I have the same style of box on the bottom right. And the same with the long boxes. I have on the side center, coming off the left and off the right, kind of like a mirror image of each other, but like a reversed mirror, if you will. That will really help with balance. Same with those focus boxes too, even the placement of those everything is kind of in relationship to the other one in the opposite. That really just kind of helps keep everything feeling like they are in purposeful placement. Sometimes you want that, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you want it to feel a little more freeform, but I find that if you struggle with it, sticking with things that are normally, go-to layouts or go-to designs, that kind of balance really will give you a good result. And so I'm moving over this top box, and at the last minute I decided that I was going to leave one of the leaves coming over the box. Now, I do that for pretty much all of the other ones except for the yellow, because I just didn't have enough to really make it work on the yellow one. And that's how I'll finish the spread. There'll be at least one kind of overlay leaf on top of the boxes. I sat on this for a day and re-looked at it, and I kind of feel like that took away a little bit of that background effect. So I went ahead and trimmed those off later after the fact, off camera. And I think it just helps keep the look and feel a little bit cleaner as far as how the leaves are supposed to be a background or like almost like a wallpaper for the day versus interacting with the box. It looks good, I think. It's just because of that white border on those paper stickers, it really, I don't know, just kind of disrupts the lines of color that you see and takes away from the look of the design a little bit, at least from the effect I'm trying to get to with that background. I just wanted to mention that in case you're doing this similar type of spread. And I honestly did not come up with this idea. I saw this a long time ago by another Instagrammer, and ever since I saw her do this alternating day spread, I've done a couple of variations for sure on it, but I really loved just, it was a little bit out of the box at the time when I saw it, so I just really loved how it looked, and I kind of incorporated it into my standard layout options. So when I, don't know really what I want to do with the spread, I kind of have some go-to ideas. Mainly those 10 that I share in my 10 layouts for horizontal planners. But this one I actually came across later after the fact. And so, yeah, it's just kind of been in the background of my repertoire for a while now. So I'm having to do a little bit more adjustment here for the last box, just because I made that quote kind of fit in, and so I need to figure out how I'm gonna just finish reworking some of the leaf elements that I have in and around the box. And I'm just gonna do some light trimming on those areas where I needed to. And then I'm also trimming out the washi tape to just cover the edge of the box, basically. So I'm not having it overflow. I don't know. I mean, I like how this looks, but I don't know if that was really the only way to do it. I think it could be a little bit more creative. I just was a little worried about that whole off-balance feel, so I really kept it very symmetrical. And at the very end, this is kind of like a last minute add. I just felt like I wanted a little more, I don't know, texture, detail to be added to the spread. I also wasn't sure how I was going to finish off those long boxes, so I decided to bring in some of the other washi tape I'd pulled. This one has a really fine dot pattern in a brown tone, so it goes well with this fall color spread. And I know you can't really see much, it's pretty pale, and it looks like it's adding a tiny bit of cream maybe to the edge, but I'm going to layer it with this really creamy grid washi. I had pulled it originally in case I wanted to use it with the yellows in that third area there, but I stuck with just the top and the bottom having some washi, and so I thought, well, I could add this in as a little extra oomph to the color, so we'll do that on the edge. Another option would have been to add that burnt orange, burnt brown tone at the top all the way across and green all the way across the bottom, which is something I was thinking about doing, but I didn't do it in the end. So that's another option. I think that would look really good as well and just add a little bit more color to the spread since there's a lot of white space. And I'm just going to push down those stickers, kind of make sure everything is adhered all the way down to the page, just again trying to make it look more like a background. And the last step will be for me to add in my checklist using the mild liners I pulled. I decided to use the green Tombow pen that I pulled at the very end, and then also too I felt like the orange needed to be replaced. It was a little too brown toned, so I'm using a different mild liner for that. And once I am done with that, you guys, we will be done, friends. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up down below. Also too, go ahead and leave me a comment if you'd like to get in touch. And think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't already, if you'd like to see more of my videos. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And we will see you next time. Bye!